1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mysteries Explained with Becky and Will, live from Tucson, Arizona. You almost tried to start the show, didn't you?
I almost did on you.
That's what I do.
You were kind of hesitating at first, so.
I was not hesitating.
You're taking that long, deep breath to. Okay, now I can spit it out.
Whatever. So welcome to Mysteries Explained. Tonight we have Girls versus Ghost, which is Sharla and Beth. We will bring them on in a little bit and talk to them about their journey and what everything they do. I've been tongue-tied a lot, so you really need to bear with me.
We got a bear?
Yes, I have. I would love a bear. Can we have a bear?
I'd love to see how that turns out for you.
I'm like, can we have a bear? I would love a bear.
I think it would slap the crap out of you. And then
Well,
you wouldn't want the bear anymore.
Okay. Well, can I have a zoo?
You already have one.
No, I mean a zoo where I can have a bear in the zoo.
They're always looking for volunteers at the zoo. Sometimes in the cages, sometimes out.
Yeah. Well, Stan says Yogi. Yeah, Yogi's a friendly bear. Can I have Yogi?
As long as you replace all the food he eats.
Oh, I love bears. But yeah, I've been really tongue-tied lately. I don't know why. I think we've been doing a lot of talking and a lot of different things, and my brain's just going faster than what I can say. I think that's how we'll word it. I don't know. Should I? Don't give me that weird little look. Okay, well, you're supposed to talk, not give me weird looks. You can do that off the air. On air, you need to talk.
Nobody can see what I'm doing.
I know, but you're not talking. And you have to project your voice and talk loud and talk.
Don't you do enough of that?
Well, you need to join in.
Well, give me something to talk about.
Okay, well, let's talk about things that we're doing right now.
We're going to be investigating the old Gila jail.
Yes, on Saturday.
And then we're going to investigate Fox Theater on Sunday.
Yes. So by Monday, we're going to be walking zombies.
There went my weekend.
Well, at least you have a 3-day weekend because it's Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
So Labor Day...
Sounds more like a 1-day weekend to me.
Well...
That I'm going to miss that 1 day of.
Because you're going to be a walking zombie.
I'm going to be asleep.
Well, at least we're starting off the weekend on a fun note. Tomorrow night, we are actually going with a couple of the team members to Laughs Comedy Club.
Yeah, because the rest of them bailed.
The rest of them bailed. Yes, not all of them ended up going.
Losers.
But we are going to go. We're going to have a few laughs. We're going to not think, which is going to be really nice.
I never knew you had that problem.
To not think?
Yeah.
I want to relax my brain so my brain has time to catch up with everything going on. Does that make sense?
Oh, I just figured it never thought to begin with.
Oh, thanks. I'm flipping him off for those who are wondering. We need visual here. No, but tomorrow night we're going to relax, have some laughs before we start our craziness. Because not only do we have the investigations, but we have a meeting on Sunday about the National Ghost Hunting Day. Or did you forget about that one?
No, I didn't forget about that.
Yes.
And we have to go take pictures on Saturday.
Oh, yes, we do have to take pictures on Saturday for the book. So we really have no time to have fun. Well, no, I like investigating. Investigating's fun. I like doing that. But yeah, we have a very busy weekend, and the only day we don't have anything planned is Monday. And we have like a couple things planned Saturday and Sunday. So trying to keep up with everything has been a challenge, to say the least. But we did do our very first live YouTube investigation last Saturday.
Yes, we did. And that would be Slaughterhouse.
Yes, we did the slaughterhouse. We went there. This was our third time having a private investigation there, but we've done 2 public events there.
Yes.
So we've been there a total of 5 times already. And each time we are there, I don't think we're ever disappointed. We always have something happen.
I was disappointed.
You were disappointed.
I was disappointed.
Why were you disappointed?
They put props in the elevator.
Oh. Okay. Why is that disappointing?
Because now we can't investigate the elevator because it's contaminated.
The elevator's contaminated.
Yep, you can't throw a sign over the freaking top.
That's true. And we never were able to find out if the sign coming back was truly paranormal or not because it came back over after we had left.
Yep.
So we don't know what happened there. But that is one of the paranormal claims is people threw things over the elevator shaft and they would come back up. And it was all blocked off and things. But we weren't there to witness it, so we can't say one way or another.
Yeah, can't prove it.
Yeah, we can't prove it, unfortunately. But other than that, though, we do have things that happen there.
Always.
Yeah, it does not seem to disappoint. This past time, we had knocking and walking that we heard in those moments. And a really weird one that we kind of caught, but you can't really hear it very well on the video or in EVPs. But it almost sounded like a wind-up toy or something that...
Whee!
Yeah, it was so weird. We're like in the exterior boiler room. And you're up on the catwalk. And I'm like walking around showing, the YouTube people, where we're at. Phil's just standing by the one area. And all of a sudden we hear that like, wee! And I was like, what the hell? And all 3 of us heard it.
Yes, we did.
But we could not figure out what it was. And you said it came from like where you were. Like
on the backside.
On the backside of where you were. So that was really weird, and we heard that in the moment. But upstairs, I think, had the most activity. Because upstairs, a light turned on. We did not witness the light turn on. But when we went up there the first time to take pictures for the book, I swear that light was not on.
I don't remember it being on.
No, I think we would have noticed because it was on a fence, and we noticed that the fence was there, and we're like, oh, that fence is new. So if that light would have been on, I think we would have noticed it.
You think?
Yeah, because we were looking straight at that fence, and that light was on that fence. And we were complaining about how dark it was. And I didn't bring my flashlight up that time, so I had to borrow yours.
Yes.
And I remember sneaking around because I wanted to try to sneak up on you guys, but I wasn't able to because it took too long.
Yeah, you're not good at that.
Yeah. But, I mean, why would I try to sneak around and sneak up on you if the light was on and you would have been able to see me? That wouldn't have made sense. So I know that light was not on. And when they did a camera setup up there, they also said that they don't recall that light. That it was pitch black. They had like flashlights in their mouth trying to see to get the camera set up. And then when they were exploring, they noticed the light on. They did not turn it on. Our crew members did not turn it on. And when we went back up there, we noticed it. And we were like, this light was not on. And we checked with our crew members, the employees, everyone. No one said that they turned on that light.
But speaking of that light, our crew that was up there prior to us being up there should have said something about the light being on.
Well, I don't think they really put 2 and 2 together, so I don't think they thought about it. I think they thought that maybe that light was on and they didn't think anything about it. We were the ones that noticed it. But it was very strange, and we ended up investigating in that area that the light turned on, and that's where we ended up having a lot of activity, actually. We had a flashlight put on the table that kept turning on and off by itself.
Yeah.
My flashlight went haywire. Like, it would turn on, stay on for a couple seconds, and then die. I would turn it back on, it would turn on fine. It was the weirdest thing. And as I was talking about my flashlight going haywire, we caught a voice. And I did do a little video today for YouTube going over that evidence review. And if you're all watching or listening, go to YouTube, go to Tucson Ghost Company. You can watch our investigation at Slaughterhouse because we recorded for like almost 2 hours, and watch the evidence review and see what you all think. I know a lot of people are thinking that it was a sigh from me, but I did not sigh. I stopped to think about how to explain what my flashlight was doing because it wasn't dead. It was still working, but I didn't know what to say. So I went, it's acting up. I didn't know how to explain it. But we caught a voice there, and then a few seconds later, that same voice seems to appear underneath me, like while I'm talking.
Mm-hmm. You hear it 3 times.
You hear it 3 times in that recording. It's the same voice. I only put 2 of them up on YouTube, though. I didn't do the whole recording. But it was so interesting. And then I did the knocking. That's one of my famous things for doing, is I do the knock.
Which never seems to work.
But it did. We got knocks back. They actually did knock. And we heard footsteps. Like, we were all standing still up there, and we heard footsteps. And nobody else was up there with us. So those were all things that we caught in the moment, and we ended up with them on EVPs too.
Sweet.
Yeah, so really cool stuff. And like I said, Slaughterhouse never disappoints, it seems. So love to go back. They're getting ready to do their Halloween thing, though.
Yeah, we're not getting back in for that.
Yeah, we're it's off limits for a couple months because of the Halloween thing, but maybe after Halloween we can get back in there and see what we have, because it's definitely a very interesting place. And then this weekend, as you said, we got 2 investigations, and we are going to do our hardest to go live at both. But if we can't go live, then what we do is we record and we upload when we can. We were lucky to be able to go live at Slaughterhouse. Hopefully we'll be able to do the same. But since we're leaving town, I don't know. Because we have not the best phone service.
Sprint sucks.
So I don't know if we'll be able to film when we're out of town. Now, Fox Theater, we probably can. I think we get decent reception in Fox Theater. And we've done Fox Theater before, and it's usually pretty cool there, too.
Yeah.
And we're working with Fox Theater on October 30th. We're doing public ghost hunts.
And then they're going to show a movie, and after that, we will do a ghost hunt.
Yeah. Well, we're doing free ghost tours before the movie, and then they're going to show their Halloween movie. And then after the Halloween movie, we're going to do ghost hunts. And that's on October 30th. We're also doing a charity event at Fox Theater, too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the charity event is for the Hearth, is I think how they pronounce it, Foundation. And they help people get back on their feet with housing and everything. And they're showing on October 21st, they're showing the movie Ghostbusters. And the lobby opens up at 1 p.m. The movie starts at 3. And we're doing free ghost tours that day and having a table set up and going to have equipment out and talk about the paranormal. Kind of like a comparison from the movie to the real Ghostbusters. We don't have ghost traps or proton packs. Although I did see them at Spirit Halloween store, and I was so tempted to buy them.
We have a containment center.
We do?
Yeah.
Where?
It's right there in front of you.
The computer?
Yep.
Well, that's where we capture our EVPs and play them, sure. That does work.
Who's to say you're not catching a spirit with an EVP?
Well,
and then storing it.
Well, then I would have a lot of ghosts stored in my computer.
Yeah, maybe that's why it acts up.
Well, my computer does act up too, so you never know. Could be true. You never know, never know. All right. So we still, though, have a ton of things that is, they're going on. Yes, I see that, babe.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. But for everyone listening, we encourage you to, if you're listening in Spreaker, go into our chat room. If you're not listening in Spreaker, that is where you can ask questions and make comments, is in the chat room on Spreaker. So we do ask if anyone joins us and has any questions for our guests tonight, or for us to go ahead and do that tonight. And we would love that, because Will tends to like having comments in the chat room. He really pushes that a lot.
You're damn right I do.
But we do understand that, people listen on iHeart and Spotify and all that stuff. So we just don't have chat rooms set up in those ones. So, and I know you like to see people in the chat room.
Yeah, because then I have something to talk about.
You should always have something to talk about.
No, I'm not hot-winded. I don't have to talk just to hear myself.
Why not?
Because I freaking bore the crap out of myself. I kept listening to all the crap that I have to talk about.
If you had to listen to all the crap you have to talk about, you would bore yourself?
Yeah, because I'd annoy the crap out of myself.
So, what makes you think you don't do that to others then?
Have you listened to yourself?
I don't actually like listening to myself. And you know that. Because you've even tried to replay our show, and I don't like to listen to it.
All I know is people that always talk, and they never shut up. They're the ones that always drive you crazy.
Yeah, but what if that's your job, to talk?
It's fine. Just don't make it a habit.
So after your job's over, shut up, in other words.
Pretty much.
Do what you need to do for your job and then be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not much of a talker at all.
No, I'm not. I say what I need to say and I'm done.
Which is why I was like, you really, truly want to do the radio show with me?
Hey, Raina. You know how boring it would be without me, though? Oh, my God.
I wouldn't have anyone to pick on me.
You wouldn't have no witty comments.
Yeah, I can admit, though, it would be boring to talk to myself until we bring a guest on.
Yeah, see? So you're good to go.
So I'm good to go.
I got you covered.
You got me covered.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good that you have me covered. All right, also, tonight's guest is Sharla and Beth. Hoping I got the names right. I hate trying to pronounce things.
From Girls vs. Ghosts.
From Girls vs. Ghosts.
Which have their own radio show.
Yep, they have their own radio show. They do their own thing. So that should be interesting. I'm sure they've talked to a lot of different people, just as we have in this field. And I'm sure they have some interesting stories, too. Let's see if they are available and if I can find them. This is the worst part of the show, when I have to try to add people.
Yeah, you should already have them right there. Boom, ready to pop up, dial, go.
I tried.
You just passed them. Go down. Go down.
Go down.
Right there.
Okay. There we go. I don't know if I have to call them individually or if they're both there.
I think they're both there.
We'll have to see.
Oh, we will.
Okay, we will.
And if only one answers, then only one's on the show.
Hey there.
Hey there.
Hey!
Hi!
So do we have you both?
Or do I have to make the other call still?
Yes, you've got to call Beth.
Okay. Yes. See, told you.
Are you looking to get slapped sideways?
Hold
just
on.
Past her. Go back up.
I always say this is the worst part of the show, is trying to add people, I swear. All right. Hopefully I have her right, because let's see.
If not, I can share.
Okay.
So I'm getting major feedback.
Really? Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like I can hear myself twice.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
That's bad for you, but we only hear you once.
I don't know if we got her on. I'm showing that we have one more, but I'm not showing her actually being there.
Hmm.
And it keeps, like, doing this weird clicking thing. Is there a way that maybe you can add her?
Yeah, I can try it.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we hear you fine.
Okay.
Okay, everyone else is saying the feedback is really bad too. So Stan, our producer, we're getting bad feedback apparently.
He's like, yeah, live with it.
We will get our producer on that, and hopefully that will be resolved. Live radio, everyone, you never can tell.
That's right.
You have to roll with the punches. All right, they said hang tight. We're going to get this taken care of. All right. Were you able to get Beth? And did we lose you?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I got way too much opened here. All right. Yeah, I showed that I have one more in the call, but it's still not showing that she's actually
She
here.
says, I didn't get a Skype invite from you guys. Just so you know, I have the right person. My email is... Well, I'm not going to say that on the air.
I just added her to the group chat, so you can probably just double-click her on the group chat and add her.
Okay. Because I have no clue what happened then. All right, everyone. Live radio for you, as I said. Gotta love it. Why isn't this working?
Try clicking on that one, because that's one we're in.
Yes, I know that's the one we're in, but that's not working. All right, we'll do this way. Talk, Will, talk.
Oh my God, you want me to talk? I don't
Yes.
talk. Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy.
Well,
So, how's it in your neck of the woods?
It was a beautiful sunny day. Unfortunately, I spent it packing and moving.
Oh, that's never fun.
No.
I don't mind the moving part, it's the packing part.
Yeah. Packing is, I mean, it's amazing how many things you amass
Right?
over the years.
Yeah,
Things that, you know, I found a candle that was burned down to nothing, but it was in a box from our last move. How is that necessary?
So basically, you never finished unpacking from the last move.
No, I didn't.
Oh, so you're planning ahead.
Yes, but, you know, it's a good thing I kept that used, purposeless candle.
You never know when you're going to need some light.
Yeah, and then there's always the things that you don't realize that you saved that you're glad you did. Like 10 years ago, I lost the head off of this little figurine that, you know, for like Christmas decorations. And
Hello.
Hello, we got her.
Yay.
Then we thought you were lost.
I thought I was lost too.
All right, and hopefully the feedback is better now too. Everyone in the chat room, we can let us know how things are. Like we said, live radio, you never know.
That's true.
you never know.
All right, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the moving story.
No, it's fine. I was just rambling.
We're trying to fill that void that you left us with.
I know, I am so good at leaving voids, I swear. I don't know if that's good or bad, but, you know, that's me. So
I know. It's like sometimes
listening, let's do this the proper way now, since hopefully all the kinks are worked out. Would you all like to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead,
should we
Sharla.
do our normal, Beth?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do it how we do on the show. Hi, everybody. It's Sharla Hardin from Girls vs. Ghosts.
And I'm Beth Moore. And together we attempt to bring the past to life.
How was that?
That's pretty good.
So, Oh, do you have like a table and some electric wires that you like try to jumpstart people with?
We do.
Yeah,
We absolutely do.
but it's
Don't lie.
the PASSED, the past.
Yeah.
Those who have gone before.
Yes. We've never
those
resurrected
people-
anyone yet.
No, not yet, but we're working on it. We got the creepy basement now, so we're gonna start.
Now you just need the long pole coming off the roof and
Yes.
electricity.
Yeah.
Done.
You sound like you've done this before.
Well, I've worked on it. It's how I brought Becky back to life.
What? When did I die?
Oh, see, I'm good at it. You didn't even know you died.
It's been multiple times, apparently.
Yeah. He also erases
You
memories.
just don't even know.
Apparently so. Apparently he has this magic to make me forget it too.
I wish I could have that sometimes.
Amen. Absolutely.
They say you never really remember how you die.
Well, true. Supposedly. Maybe one day we'll find that out for sure. But
So-
supposedly.
Yeah, I would
Now
I would
can't.
tell you, but apparently I've forgotten.
Apparently I have too. So how long have you two been doing the Girls versus Ghost?
It all started in February of 2016, right, Beth? 16 or 15?
Yeah, it was 16. Yeah, 2016.
16. And we attended an event together, and I was doing I had a paranormal thing going on. She had a paranormal thing going on. She still has her paranormal thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about it one day, and I thought it would be really cool to bring multiple female teams together, under some kind of umbrella, because there are so few all-female teams out there. That we could just kind of swap stories and maybe go on a few investigations together and collaborate on some things, and then we went on a trip together.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got back from I don't know, maybe this is all out of order, but I had yeah, that's right. The trip, we were going to go on a trip and we were going to do some crazy things, which we did. We had a fantastic time.
Yes.
And when we got back, I had been asked if I was interested in hosting a radio show. And I thought, number one, I don't want to do it alone, because the thought of that terrified me at the time, still does. And I got to thinking, who could I ask to be with me? And then I thought, it's obvious, Beth. We have always had a great chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
We think alike. She anticipates my thoughts. I try to anticipate hers.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she's already a step ahead of me, and she's already telling me her thoughts before I've had the chance to psychically tap in and take them over.
Right.
But
Plus, I love to talk.
And so then, the more we got into it, there were like all these nuances and things that we had to do. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we just do this on our own?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
without a second thought. And that's when I knew that, number one, I had the right partner. And number two, that come heck or high water,
Mm-hmm.
that it was going to happen. And so we officially launched our podcast that we had in October of 2017. And then fast forward, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 months or so.
Yeah.
10 months.
Yeah.
And here we are with our show on VideoSpace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a crazy, crazy ride and a crazy journey, but we've had so many good people along the way
Yeah.
that have helped mentor us and steer us in the right direction. We've really, really been lucky in that regard.
Yes.
But that's my side of the story.
Yeah, it's basically the same one. We actually met online, which people get a kick out of because it was not a dating service.
True.
But we met online.
Come on now.
Yeah.
It was through Periscope, and I was on an investigation with Chad Lindbergh, and he had went live on Periscope, and Sharla happened to tune in and was watching, and I ended up getting scratched. And so, of course, Chad wanted to put that on there, which I didn't blame him. And Sharla was the only one that actually reached out to me and asked me, the next day, "Are you okay?" And I thought,
I was
oh my
horrified.
gosh. Yeah, I was like, how sweet is this? Nobody else reached out other than Chad and Sharla. And we ended up meeting at an event. And when I seen this crazy lady running across the parking lot with a luggage rack, I was like, this is going to be my best friend forever. I knew it instantly. And we've been great friends ever since. And I couldn't imagine being on this journey with anybody else. She's super supportive of me. I'm super supportive of her. And, just like anything in life, we always have our ups and downs outside of life, but we're, right there behind each other 100%, no matter what it is. And, so it's been a blast. It's been amazing. We've met some incredible people, just like amazing, incredible people. And I wouldn't give that up for anything. And now we've met you guys. You guys get added to that list of amazing people.
That's right.
Thank you.
I can't really say about Will, but thank you.
We'll find out the truth soon enough.
Right. We still got time in the show.
So tell us more about that journey of you guys going to that new network. The VD
VD Space.
Yes.
Oh, they have VD Space. I was like, the new network. Yes, VD Space.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, did we sign something and not know it?
It was the fine print.
Is there something you're not telling me about?
Nope, not at all.
And the big reveal.
Yes. Oh, Sharla, forgot to tell you.
It was kind of funny. I actually answered this ad that I saw that Elizabeth Saint had put out about needing a marketing person. And it was in a really weird place. It was in a place where I look for people. I was researching interns, and we were tossing around the idea at my day job work about, what all does having an intern, what's all involved in that. And I started looking, and so I'm like Googling blah, 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 interns, marketing. And then I see Elizabeth Saint's post, and I was like, I clicked in, and I was like, oh my God, this was my dream job. So I replied to her ad, and I'm like, hey, this is what I do in the daytime, and I would love to help out with VidiSpace. And she said it was really funny. She said she was reading the email, and she knew that it was me before she finished. And, or that she knew this person, but she couldn't quite remember or, come up with a name. And then she got to the bottom. And it was funny because ironically we had her on the show like a month before, Beth. Was that right?
Yeah. It was about a month prior.
And we just had a blast with her.
Yeah.
And, I think she had kind of joked around about, having us on VidiSpace, but, we always thought, we just had this dinky little podcast, and it really just existed for us to have fun, and get to talk to some really cool people. And we didn't really think anything out, very highly of our entertainment value.
Right.
We just thought we were just two goofballs talking on a podcast. And, so I fast forward, I ended up going to work for them as their chief digital and social media officer, and just have had a phenomenal time with that. They're amazing people. They're truly visionaries. They're both filmmakers at heart, even though they find themselves in front of the camera, more than behind until VidiSpace, and now they're doing a lot of producing and that sort of thing. They're just brilliant. They have incredible vision of where they want to take the network, and I was just so excited to be a part of it. And Elizabeth had mentioned one day about moving our podcast onto Vidi, and we didn't really think we were prepared for that. We wanted to go to YouTube first, kind of dip our toe in the pool, so to speak.
Right.
And then we, I think, did 1 or 2 horrible episodes on YouTube. Just dreadful. I mean, we had a great guest. We had great guests, but the guests weren't the problem. It was the technical aspect of it, which is all on my shoulders. And so I take full responsibility for the suck factor there.
It was still fun. It was still a lot of fun. This wasn't so fun to replay it.
Yeah. I mean, we look like robots. It's like every other word we move. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was really bad.
Good photos, though. Good screenshots was able to be taken from that because funny position.
Yes. And so we didn't really have a lot of time to practice. And, video is so different than audio only. Right. I mean, Beth and I would do our podcasts, in our jammies or, no makeup. I was lucky. I had 2 kids. I'm lucky if that day I even got to brush my teeth. So
here's a little secret. Will never wears makeup when we do these shows. Never. He never bothers.
Yeah. Well, right now I have my hair on top of my head and I'm in my PJs. So this would have been what I looked like during our podcast.
I took my hair out of the ponytail and it's still in a ponytail. You guys have probably been there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, just after this though, I got to get made up. I mean, I'm just feeling completely naked right now without
it. Go get you a mani-pedi.
Yeah. So then Beth, you can take over from there.
Okay, awesome. So we started our podcast or our show actually from our podcast, and it was alien to us, to have to shower and look presentable to then be seen by everybody. And, the first 2 shows, we actually spoke to people that was involved with cryptids and the filming of cryptids. And one of them was Seth Breedlove, who, oh gosh, I'm going to get this mixed up. Was he the producer or the director of On the Trail of?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
He was the producer.
Okay. Of On the Trail of Champ. Okay.
The production company was Small Town Monsters. Yeah,
that's right.
Production company was Small Town Monsters.
Yes.
And he was the producer. Yes, he was a producer. Okay. And then Petrikov was the director. Yes. Yeah.
So those were our first 2 interviews. And you feel like you have to keep that smile on your face. I'm used to kick back with a pen in my mouth, and talking and thinking and I'm like, I have to be presentable and smile. But then it became, okay, I don't have to be that stiff. We can relax and we can still have fun like we did on the podcast. And it's been just an incredible journey. And Nick and Elizabeth have supported us along with all the other Vidi Spacers. All of the people that are members of Vidi Space, everybody has just been super supportive and behind us 100%. We've become like the little sisters of Vidi Space.
Yeah.
And I love it.
We were kind of the morons of the production scene. I mean, we really, in some regards I still am, but
stop it. No, you're not.
every show is a new learning experience. I ended up watching every single episode of every single tutorial that was ever made in the world on the platform that we used to broadcast, and which really surprisingly wasn't that many. But after finally watching all those tutorials, I told Beth, I said, I think we got it. Mm-hmm. And then we really just now got it this week.
Yeah. Yeah. But we kicked its ass.
We did. We're a work in progress.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's all trial and error. We had the same thing with Blog Talk. It was all trial and error. And, and still, the guest, said, okay, well, we're right here, whatever you need to do. And, we walked in blind, never, really doing video before. And, so it took us a little bit longer. We'd never produced anything. I still haven't. This is all Sharla. Sharla, she nails it, man. She's a genius when it comes to this with her ideas. And how she does the banners and everything. It gets me excited for every show to see what new she's come up with and her ideas. She's amazing. She's an amazing Parasister host.
And Beth is equally amazing for being patient with me. And sometimes I get these really wild ideas, and she's got to dial me back.
And that's okay.
She's like, okay, Sharla, let's just pump the brakes a little bit. Slow your roll. First things first.
Or I push her, or I'm like, okay, let's do that. Or we could do that. I'm fine with that too.
Well, it definitely sounds like you two are really fit to do this together and really supportive of each other, which is wonderful. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and sounds like, I'm one of those big people that, I do believe that whatever is meant to happen is meant to happen.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I completely agree.
It definitely sounds like you two were meant to be together and do all this together.
Yeah, absolutely. I was meant to be scratched and her to see it, and it brought us together forever.
Yeah.
Sad it took a scratch to get that to happen.
I know. It just tells you what kind of friendship we have. We're just, no matter what happens, we'll always be there, whether it's a phantom scratch or, ready for whatever throws at us.
Or a heckler.
God almighty. Do you guys get heckler? Do you guys take calls on your show?
We are supposed to be moving forward with that in the future. We're not set up for that right now.
Okay. All right. Well, we were not prepared for it.
I'm all good for a heckler. I can bring it.
It was just, and he wasn't one of those that would, I don't even know how to put it. He wasn't
dirty.
one. Yes, he was gross. Like the things came out of his mouth, gave you that, yeah, like that moment of, what did he just say?
Yeah.
We could be foul mouthed. That's for sure. But what he said was just nasty.
Yeah. He's probably on an offenders list somewhere.
He has to be. He has to be.
Or living in his grandmother's basement. One of the two.
Probably. You're right.
Well. Yes. It was just gross. So be prepared. Be prepared for that. We wish you the best of luck.
We should.
Oh, I could have fun with it.
Yeah, you would have fun with these callers. You would probably keep them on a lot longer than what they would need to be.
Well, they end up leaving, hanging up, feeling really stupid when they're done.
Well, I'll be sure to listen.
Yeah.
So outside of the show, what have you all done paranormal wise? Do you have teams? Do you have your own team? Are you a part of a team?
I actually work for a company called Ghost Hunts USA, and we run events. So that's my full-time job. We actually travel to different locations. Like last weekend, I was in Kansas doing the McIntyre Villa. We also do, the Sally House, and it's for people that don't have teams, or it's for people that have never done this before but are interested, and they don't know how to get started. So they get on our website, they purchase a ticket to these amazing, incredible, once in a lifetime locations, and they come investigate with us, and we allow them to use our equipment. We kind of show them the ropes. We give them time to explore on their own. If they choose not to explore on their own, we're there all night long with them. But we've also had seasoned investigators there, 5-6 team members that come in and have come back multiple times and have had a fantastic, experience or a great time. So that's actually what I do full time, is travel around and investigate, which I don't know how I got so lucky. I love my job. It's such an amazing job.
She's got an incredible job. She really does. And she works for some pretty great people.
Yes. My bosses are pretty amazing. I could say that. I'll be leaving in a couple weeks to do the Lizzie Borden house again up in Massachusetts. So I'm excited to get back there and do that one as well. But yeah, other than that, I used to have a team. But now that I'm traveling and doing this, I don't really get to do much with that anymore. And then every chance that Sharla and I can get together, her and I take off and investigate wherever we can. We did how many days was that trip from New
I
Orleans?
don't know. It was like the longest road trip in history.
It was, but it was fantastic.
Really cool. We went to some pretty cool places. I mean, just, off the wall places that you wouldn't expect. Like there was this Best Western Inn.
Yes.
In, what was the name of the town, Georgia?
Americus
Americus, Georgia.
Yeah.
And I had been traveling for work. And sometimes if I get a big road trip like that, I'll let Beth know. And if she's not working that weekend, she'll hop on a plane and go with me. And in between meetings, we'll stop at places and just do some kind of ad hoc investigations. And this place, it was pretty incredible. I can't remember the name of the hotel, but it is a functioning hotel. But it's richly steeped in history. And we got this room that was in this, what do you call that? Was it a turret? What do you call that round part of the building that kind of hangs off like old Victorian buildings? You know what I'm talking about? Like a rounded edge?
Yeah, I think it is a turret.
A turret? Something. But it was a round room, and it was at the top floor, and it was just, the energy there was amazing. And we were so tired. We got in super late from the drive because we fooled around the beach for a long time. We were like,
little children,
water and like.
It's the Windsor Hotel.
Yeah. A beautiful place. Amazing. Yes. Just old architecture, and just the smells are old. It's just a really neat place. And we had a pretty decent investigation there for being so late and so tired. And then we went to Savannah the next day. And that night we did just kind of this, I mean, Beth and I do sometimes what we call pop-up investigations.
We just always have our equipment, whatever feels right.
Some people have pop-up shops. We do pop-up investigations. And we were literally in an alley, but in this alley in Savannah, they used to bring, it was horrible actually. Savannah has a really dark past if you know much about it, but up the river there is where they would bring slave ships and bring them onto land, and they would do it late at night. And they would bring the slaves off the ships through these underground tunnels in Savannah. Just horrible, horrible conditions, unlike anything I think that we could even imagine today.
Right.
And they have since been boarded up or bricked up, so to speak. And we had some pretty crazy responses right in front of those walls. I mean, it was and shadow figures, and it was really intense. But you got to imagine a place like that with such crazy energy, and what all is left and bouncing around those bricks. I don't know. It was pretty amazing. So
sometimes human creepy too at times.
Yes.
People coming out of the backs of buildings, closing up shop and startling
people
us.
Leaving the bars.
Yes. You'd be like, hi, don't mind us.
Yeah. We're just talking to the wall.
So when you take these long trips, do you grab a map and pick out a destination, or do you just use the GPS and punch in where you're going and just stop along the way?
Well, that's a great question. Go ahead.
Oh, no, because I'm going to say what you're going to say. I know.
Usually my trip is mapped out because of the destinations that I'm going to for work. So then Beth does some research, and go ahead.
Yeah, we just kind of pre-plan it from there. So we know exactly where we're going to be stopping, like she said, for work. And then we figure out what's going on around there. Where can we go to once we're in that town? And what's in between those, the next town that we're going to be heading to. Because like she said, we traveled all the way from New Orleans in car, New Orleans to Savannah, Georgia. So it was a pretty good long haul. And we just made pit stops along the way, different little places. Things I won't forget.
Because the one thing I've noticed that GPS will not do is what a paper map will do. Is it will actually give you little ghost towns or mining communities or places that were no longer habited,
Oh,
they'll still be marked on the map.
really?
That's a good point.
That is a very good point, and I didn't even think about that. Mm.
Yeah, we know this firsthand because we did a Nevada road trip last year,
Mm-hmm.
and we went and did the old-fashioned paper maps, and we found some old ghost towns by doing that.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
I
to
wish
do
we would
that,
have known you when we were out west 2
Yeah.
years ago.
Yes.
because GPS, I've always put addresses in GPS and then typed in or hit the little what's on the way,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you all the normal stuff that everybody else does.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had Becky go down to AAA and grab a couple maps of where we're going, the states we were going to be traveling in, and from there mapped out where we were going to go. And then some of it was just while we're driving and we make a stop, open up the map and go, hey, this is too far off the beaten path. Let's stop over here.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Nope. Well, we're doing that next time, Shar.
Yeah.
Let's have it
Get those trip ticks.
Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of what we did on that trip actually was just, deciding at the moment type thing, because the only place that we knew we were going
Mm-hmm.
was Las Vegas for our anniversary.
Oh, okay.
We knew we had reservations at the hotel for Vegas for our anniversary, but we had 4 days, 3 to 4 days to travel.
Oh, nice.
And we just started traveling. We went down Route 66. We ended up in Rhyolite, Nevada, Goldfield,
Awesome.
Virginia City.
Yeah, Virginia City.
Yeah. We
That's
just ended
awesome.
up in all these places. And of course, we ended up in a lot of haunted locations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We stopped at the Clown Motel. We
Ew.
saw that one.
Nope.
No to the clowns.
Nope.
Keep on driving.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a very interesting lobby, to say the least.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
only imagine.
Yeah.
There's actually a gas station on the way
Mm-hmm.
that had, what was it called? Alien Brothel.
Oh,
Alien.
yes, there is an alien brothel.
Oh,
We-
my
we-
goodness.
And yes, we did go in there because we wanted to know what an alien brothel was.
Yeah. So what was it?
Ooh, what?
It was
It was
just
an
a
actual brothel.
Oh.
But it had the name Alien Brothel, so we were like, is it
Yeah.
decorated in UFOs? And they gave free tours, so we were like, okay, we want a tour.
Right.
We want to know why it's called Alien Brothel.
And they even had a little UFO above their logo.
Oh, my
So-
God. I love it.
But nothing special about it. It was just I would assume it was like all the other brothels. I wouldn't
Right.
know.
Funny.
That was the first time I've been in one, but
But hey, now you can say you have.
yeah.
Yeah.
First
Exactly.
and last time. I was kind of hoping that they would have aliens and
Well, they did
Right,
have
yeah.
costumes. They said they would dress up.
Did they really?
Yeah, they actually had costumes and said, we will dress up in costumes. I was like, okay.
That's fantastic.
My brain went somewhere completely not necessary.
Well, I guess you get your money's worth there.
That's true. That's so true. Oh my gosh. Now I feel like that heckler.
yeah, but it was definitely a very interesting road trip. And what was the coolest part is, like I said, we didn't have it planned. We just went directly by the map.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the spur of the moment things that we did get to do was when we stopped in Virginia City.
We'll wash you.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
A private investigation will wash you.
And I didn't have any equipment on me.
It was all in the van.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
not expect it because we were just walking up and down, and we stopped in the bar, and we went in the museum, and we're looking at, the little museum thing, and a couple people walked in, and they made a remark, "Are you excited about being here?" And me being, my stupid, crazy, hyper self, I'm like, "I'm so excited." And I pretty much screamed it. And they're looking at me funny. And I'm like, I told them, we're from Tucson. I own the Tucson Ghost Company. We have Tucson Ghost Society. I'm telling them all these things. And they start talking to Will and I. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Well, do you want to go upstairs?" And we're like, yeah.
Wow. Yes, 100 times.
Yeah. And it was just 3 of us up there for a good probably half an hour.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
At least you could say you've been in it, though.
Yeah.
That's
It was
amazing.
pretty cool.
I remember passing the signs. We went from Long Beach. No, were we in Long Beach? We were somewhere after Long Beach, and then we went to Las Vegas. And I remember along that route from LA. We left. Did we leave LA? I can't remember, but it was somewhere from the West Coast to Las Vegas, and along the route there were these signs that said, "Was it alien jerky?"
Alien jerky. Yes. Yes, a big giant alien on a billboard.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, we both know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was really curious about that, but I never saw alien jerky. We saw the little scorpions that were encased in the suckers.
Yeah.
Oh, we have that in Tucson.
He's talking about the lights.
Yeah, I know.
Ew. Not
Yeah.
something I want to eat ever is
No.
a scorpion.
No, I never understood that. We have those in a lot of our gift shops out here when you do the whole Arizona attraction stuff. I never
Yeah.
understood it.
Mm-mm.
Like, why would anyone want a lollipop with a scorpion in it? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like torture for that poor scorpion.
Yeah.
Like, what did he do to deserve that?
I don't know.
Well,
one
they
less
don't deserve to
scorpion
be
is-
alive, in my opinion.
Yeah, one less scorpion is okay with me.
Especially when you're out on an investigation and you have
Ugh.
Command Central outside and you have a scorpion crawling up your way.
No.
Command Central. Yeah.
They could be deadly, from what I understand.
No,
Oh, yeah.
they're not really. It depends on your state of health, if you're elderly or really young. But most of the time, it just
Hurts
really
really bad.
hurts really bad is what it does.
It
Oh.
can send you to the hospital.
Yeah, depending on your state of health, it can send you to the hospital. But no, there's not a whole lot of people that really die from a scorpion sting.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
I would probably be that 0.0003%.
Yeah. 0.345 in a quadrillion.
Repeating.
Quadrillion.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the critters we have out here at all.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any of that in Ohio, thank God, but we do have
What part of
spiders.
Ohio?
Uh-oh, you
I'm-
record.
I'm just north of Cincinnati.
Oh, see, I'm originally from Toledo.
Oh, okay. Not too far from me.
So you're rivals.
No.
No,
Not at all.
Ohio guys.
That's right. Ohioans stick together no matter what part they're in. We just don't like that state up north.
Yeah,
That's funny because when we went to Toledo,
I
Half
know.
the
Half
town
of
was-
them is for that one, and half of it's for the Buckeyes. I know. But see, I'm a true Ohio person. I go for the Buckeyes.
yeah,
Woohoo!
but the question is, are you really a true Ohioan or a Michigan person? Because you still are fighting about where that border really was.
I got Ohio State flag right behind our head right now. I don't want to hear it.
Well, there you go.
It's
There you
on
go.
our bedroom wall, Ohio State Buckeyes. In fact, if you watch my YouTube video today of evidence review, you're going to see that Ohio State flag.
There you go. I believe you. I believe you. I trust in you. I won't shun you at all. Sharla was actually on the phone with me the other day. It's going back to bugs. And I had this big spider run towards me. And she's on the phone, and thank God my niece finally talked me into getting one of those pop sockets on the back of my phone. Those stupid things that I'm now in love with. But I'm holding on to it, talking to her, and I'm like, Sharla, this giant spider just crawled up towards me. And so I thought, and to me, I'm sorry. I don't care what size of a spider you are, you're going to die. Just plain simple, you're just going to die. Yep. So I got my fly swatter, I smack it, and it was a mommy, and about 500 babies shot out of her body. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs, holding on to my phone. Sharla's screaming and doesn't even know what's happening. And I'm like beating the crap out of all these spiders. My husband's standing in the window just laughing at me because I'm screaming and jumping up and down like an idiot. And Charlotte's like, what happened when you killed the spider? I'm like, babies shot out everywhere.
It multiplied.
Oh, it was horrible. It was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying.
Your worst nightmare come true.
Yes, that would be.
Yes.
Oh, I am right there with you. I would be doing the exact same thing. And Will's right there with your husband. He would be laughing at me.
And I think Sharla asked me, I think it was you, Charlotte, said, what would you have done if that would have been in your house? I said, I would have burnt my house down. I would have grabbed everything that I had meaningful to me, and I would have fried my house and claimed it on insurance. Because you wouldn't have got all of those spiders if it was in your home and shooting under couches. And
oh gosh, can you imagine?
No.
I can just see the story to the insurance company now. So why did you set your house on fire? You did not see the size of that spider, and it multiplied when I tried to kill it. I had no choice. It had to go.
I was under attack.
That's right. That's right. I was under attack. It was horrible.
You were under attack. There's nothing worse than, that's terrible.
I know. It still creeps folks out.
Not one bit.
Mm-mm.
Put the spiders in the can of Raid and said, no, it ain't happening. I don't have enough.
That's right. See, I'll investigate spirits all night long, but you put me anywhere in the vicinity of a bug, I'm gone.
Oh, wow. See, I'm not the only one, babe.
It's true. It's a female thing.
It's gotta be.
No, we can't say that because our team is basically all females. Besides Will, there's only one other male. Other than that, we're all females. Mm-hmm. And I actually get made fun of by the other girls on the team because of the fact that I will run from the spiders.
Yeah.
That is first one in the location and always the first one to go do what needs to be done, but you put me in front of a bug and I run the other way.
Yeah. There's nothing good about walking through a spider web in the middle of a hallway too in the dark. Because then you really don't know what you're dealing with.
Yeah. Or where it is.
There could be a demon at the other end of that hallway, and the only thing that matters in that moment is where's the spider whose web I just went face first into.
That's right. You're so right. I could be getting charged by a demon and be like, wait.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Might be a spider in my hair.
Yeah. My team tends to name the bugs. They do. Oh. And we were on one investigation where there's roaches, and they decided to name that one Pedro. And then we went to another location and found another bug, and they decided to name that bug. And I'm like, don't name them, just kill them. We just need them dead.
Yes.
Great.
No personification of the insects.
Yes.
If you name them, you can't kill them because then it's murder.
Not true.
I said, don't name them.
Yeah. Peace out, Pedro.
Yeah.
Let us know what happens on the other side.
Yeah. Pedro, can you hear us?
Yeah, wouldn't that be horrible, though, if they do come back and haunt you? I mean,
No, here's the thing that you probably haven't put together. They die, they become a spirit, and they crawl over for you.
Yes. Does that explain the creepy, crawly feelings you get sometimes?
With all the spiders I've killed, I'm doomed. God.
What if the afterlife is you living with all those bugs you killed?
Mm.
Oh, why?
Mm.
I need to do an EVP session now to make sure that is not the case.
That's right. I'm calling on my papa.
Apologizing to do. Maybe you can clear your karma before you get there. Maybe that'll cancel it out.
That's what it is. Ask for forgiveness. For all
Be
the
like,
bug
I'm
deaths.
so sorry I killed all you spiders during my life. Please forgive me in the afterlife.
Yes. I know you were just as scared as me as I was of you. But you were going to eat my face. And you had to go. That's right. And I had a fly swatter, and I'm sorry.
I acted on impulse.
Yes. That's right.
I was in full out survival mode.
Oh,
Don't blame my parents.
They raised me to be this way.
It goes back to childhood.
pretty much. I know my mom's more scared of bugs than I am. So that says something to those who know me. My mom's 100 times more scared than I am.
Wow. My mother's not. She's one that's like, oh, look at all the ants. Look how sweet they are, Beth. And I'm like, oh, buggies. And my mom's like, save the spiders, put them back outside. And I tried that one time with a piece of paper. I tried lifting the spider up to put him out a window. He ran up the paper onto my arm. I screamed. I slung him. I stepped on him. It didn't work. I tried.
Well, it's the intent, I think, that matters. You tried.
I did.
You gave him the option of surviving.
Yes, he chose wrong.
He took the wrong route.
That's so true. Yeah, I can't do bugs. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And out here, our bugs are horrible. They're huge.
Really?
And they're gross. And some of them are poisonous.
Jesus.
Well, we have tarantulas. They get to be about 4 or 5 inches in diameter.
Yeah, you can't kill them with a fly swatter.
We have what's called
or a can of raid.
We have what's called the tarantula wasp that is like 2 inches long.
Wow.
God.
We did an investigation at Gleason, and for the first time ever, and I've lived in Arizona for a while, I saw a vinegaroo.
Which
What's
looks
that?
nasty.
It's a arachnid. It's part of the arachnid family, but it's got claws like a scorpion.
What?
Oh,
And
no.
It's just got like a little a whip for a tail. It's completely harmless, and it's about 4 or 5 inches long.
And it's ugly. You get the point.
Yeah.
Wow. To me,
So
that's
I'm
a
gonna have
demon.
I'm going to
So I
have to
called
Google
Becky
that.
over and said, "Hey,
Yes.
check this out." She's all, "What?" I said, "Check that thing out. That's the first one I've ever seen in the wild." So you brought me over here to see a bug?
It sounds like you could put a leash on it and walk it around.
You
Yeah.
could.
It was gross. It was ugly. I was like, I thought he's all, come look at this. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to show me something cute, something, that I'm going to be all excited about. And then he shows me a bug. And I'm like, really?
Ew.
Really? A bug?
I just looked that thing up.
Oh, it's ugly.
That is just
I don't
That
want to
is-
look.
that is an alien.
Yes.
That is what crawled out of the spaceship in Roswell. They accidentally
Here in
brought their
Arizona.
bugs.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, that was an interesting investigation. We did an old jail that's still actually standing with a roof, and some other buildings that just had like walls up still. And we had a huge, because we had to put command central outside because the jail was too small.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this huge lizard.
She took a photo of it. Guess who's gonna look at it?
Oh.
Send it right now.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we had this huge lizard up on the corner. We
Mhm.
had spiders, we had scorpions, and then he had to call me away and show me that thing.
Oh, my God.
I was like, couldn't it have been a cute little bunny or something?
Right. Right.
At least we didn't come across any rattlesnakes.
Oh, yeah, the snakes is another thing. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Because
That
I would have
photo's-
them too.
That photo's not going to end up on my Facebook page, is it?
It needs to.
This
I'll
thing
burn my
looks like
face.
you could saddle it and ride it.
God. Yeah, I don't want to see him.
Well, too late. I just
I
texted
had
you a
to see
picture of
him.
one.
You have to see him.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang it, Sharla.
Yep. If I gotta endure this, so do you.
I had to see it live in person, okay?
I can't even imagine that. I probably would have passed out. You're my hero for surviving.
He got yelled at pretty good about that one.
Wow. I'm not even looking to see if I received it yet or not.
So other than the bugs on investigations, because you're exactly like me on that, what has been one of the most like interesting things that have happened?
You want to go first, Shar?
I have to think about it.
Okay. I'll go.
Okay.
While you think. Okay, so I've a whole slew of things. I've had, disembodied voices, full-bodied apparitions, being touched, being scratched. All of it's always been interesting to me, no matter what kind of evidence we have, whether it's just a return knock. Every investigation intrigues me because every location is so different.
Mm.
And, you have your good, you have your bad. That's for sure. But,
Right.
I walk into every place with an open mind. And a lot of times it's the energy of the guests that we have with us or teammates that we have with us. It's their energy that helps pull out different types of spirits. Ones that if I walked in by myself may not connect to me, but they did connect to somebody else. So it is, I don't know, every location has been really cool. Like this past weekend at McIntyre Villa, we was hearing footsteps come down the staircase while we're all on the same floor. I sent the guests down one at a time to do solo EVP sessions in the basement because it's what I do. And, give them that moment of alone time in a basement to ask questions in the complete dark really heightens your senses. And we were all up on the second floor. And on the recorder that I had down there, it had a parabolic mic on it. And you could hear what sounded like someone walking around on the first floor right above them. And they acknowledge it, So it's, I don't know, it's really cool. Every place is cool. Every experience has been interesting to me. Okay, I'm done.
I think one of the most interesting is probably,
You needed more time.
I did. I mean, I'm thinking of so many, but there was, we were in Gettysburg.
Mm-hmm.
And we had done an investigation. Beth was not working, but I had signed up to go to that event through Go Sense USA, as I've always wanted to go to Gettysburg. Mm-hmm. And so she actually ended up going just as an attendee so that we could go together. And we had some crazy experiences there. Just really, it's a very strange place. The energy is so different there than it is at just, the energy is different everywhere you go, right? And the feel is different and the environment is different, but there's something just not quite dialed in about Gettysburg. And I don't know if it's the concentration of how many people perished there, along with the intensity of the battles that went on there. But it was the day we were leaving, and it was just had that after investigation fog, that you get, mm-hmm. where you've investigated all night or into the wee hours of the morning or whatever, and then you leave, but you still kind of have that fog about you. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving past, and I took a different route out than I did in, although there's really one major way in. But I kind of went back through some of the fields, and a lot of the fields there are intact. And, the fence lines and things like that. And I walked out, I saw a little marker on the side of the road. So I pulled over, and there was no one there. And I just went out and I laid down in the middle of that field. And when I did, I just, I read the story of what happened there first. And apparently this field was just, strewn with bodies from both sides. And there were so many that, there were some people who were laying there that weren't quite, they weren't dead. They laid there until they died. They possibly could have been saved. And I laid there in that field, and I tried to imagine, what it would be like staring up at that sky in this field in that moment. And it was just a very profound, very moving moment. And I got all of these feelings and images, like there were so many people there that were so young, and they had their whole lives ahead of them. And I don't know, it was just a very weird moment. I felt like, something was guiding me through these stories and these feelings. And I don't know, it's hard to put a finger on, but I think that's one of the most moved I have ever been in an investigation. And it wasn't even really an investigation. It was the day after an investigation, and it was my own little journey.
Right.
It's amazing how some of those locations can call to you like that, though.
What about that soldier we thought we seen? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I do.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was very crazy. We were standing out the front of the Farnsworth, and I think we were just talking at that time. We were on a break.
Were, yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah, and you know how the whole town, still dresses up and does the reenactments and everything. And this soldier in full dress walks
very
past
thin.
us. Yes, very thin.
Older gentleman.
Walks right past us down the sidewalk. And we kind of had that moment where we looked at each other and looked back. And Sharla was like, was he real? I don't know. So we, she takes off to go down to see where he went. And he was just gone.
Gone.
Just absolutely gone. Nowhere to be seen.
Gone. There was something off about his stride too, and his gait. Like the way that he walked wasn't right. I mean, it was literally we were having a conversation, and his presence made us stop our conversation.
Yeah.
And watch him walk by.
I know.
Wow.
We don't know what happened to him. I mean, we were pretty much right at the corner.
Yeah.
So when he passed, and we picked our jaws up off the ground. And I was like, was that real? Did that just, is he real? And Beth was just like, I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. We should have been able to see him. The 3 steps it took us to get around the corner, we should have been able to still see him walking. He was just gone.
Gone.
It was crazy. It was really cool though.
I think that's probably the most unexplainable.
Right.
Yeah.
With everything that you guys, have done, have you ever had anything follow you home?
No. Absolutely not. I make sure of that. I always stay protected. I always cleanse myself. And you have to be stern with them, and tell them this is your home and you are not invited. You're not welcomed. It's not okay. No, thank God. My husband's always said, if I do bring something home, it's either me or him that's leaving. And and I really don't want that to happen. So I always take really good precautions. But no, knocking on wood. That has never happened. I've never had anything follow me home.
See, I can't say the same, but
Really?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, there's been several things. I actually had an apparition that followed me around for probably a good 6 months.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I would see him at the foot of my bed a lot.
Oh my goodness.
And Will would see his shadow in the kitchen a lot. And then all of a sudden he disappeared. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, things not as much lately.
Well, it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's been quiet lately, but it'll come and go in strides, and there's sometimes that things just get so crazy and we're just like, okay, we're cleansing the house because
Right. Oof. Mm-mm. This
And
is
then
my safe
I
haven.
wake up and I look over and I see someone standing there and I'm like, okay, and I go back to sleep. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
like, okay, I don't know. I guess it still shocks me, but I'm kind of used to it at the same time. So
True. Now, do you think it's something to do with the land, or do you think it's something to do with maybe somebody as just like a passer through popping in, or do you think it's something you guys definitely bring back from locations?
I think it definitely deals with locations because what's really weird is some of the activity happens before I go on investigations.
Mm, okay,
Yeah.
I got you. And then you see that same person at the building, or
We have interaction or we find out because, like, the one apparition I saw was a soldier, which
Mhm,
is funny because you guys were talking about a soldier earlier.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And then I went on an investigation to where the lady said that they would always see a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like just a couple days after I saw one in my house. And so I was like, okay, that's kind of odd. And then there's been times that we'll do an investigation and then a couple days later we'll have something and you can ask my husband, he's told me that he's seen patterns with me after certain investigations. Like
Okay,
sometimes I'll get sick or sometimes I'll get depressed and sometimes I'll
right.
be fine. So,
Wow, wow.
yeah.
Do you guys
So
ever
you,
cleanse or protect? Sorry, Shar. Go ahead.
Yes. I have a closet filled of things to cleanse with, and I used to actually carry on me a charm that would protect, and
Okay.
that charm fell off, and I honestly have no clue where it's at now.
Wow.
Inside your wallet.
No, it's not inside my wallet. I don't know where it's at, to be honest with you. Well, what's really funny is I would always take my wallet off when we would investigate because I don't like carrying purses. I just chain like a wallet to myself. And
Hmm.
so when we would investigate, I would always take it off because I didn't want that extra noise. And so I would never actually wear the charm when I would be investigating, but I would put it on afterwards.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, and I honestly have no clue where that charm went. Like it disappeared.
Wow.
I don't know where it is.
That's crazy. You need to find a new one
yeah.
quickly.
But you know what? What was funny though is, and this is the odd part, the charm, when I would have that charm on me all the time, I seem to get more activity then than I have without it.
Hmm.
So
What was
that's
the
the
stone?
crazy part.
What was the stone?
It was it wasn't actually a stone, it was like a blessed
Saint.
saint. What saint was it? I can't even remember.
I don't know.
Yeah. It was like a coin type thing and it was blessed and all that stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, even though I would carry that on me, I seem to have more things follow me during that time period than without it.
That's
Hmm.
interesting.
Saint.
Yeah, maybe.
You need a new saint.
Yes.
Maybe,
Look at this
you never know.
Saint Michael. Look into some Saint Michael stuff.
Yeah.
He's the protector. He'll take care of you.
Labradorite has always been one of my favorite stones, and I love it. And when I first started wearing a lot of it, I didn't realize that the quote unquote psychic powers that it has, supposedly.
Mhm.
And I always wondered why. I always felt, how you kind of you have times where you feel so spiritually connected,
Mhm.
with things around you, and then other times you don't. I always felt so spiritually connected when I had that ring on,
Mhm.
and I couldn't understand. I didn't really put two and two together until one day when I was in a store and a woman had commented on my ring, and she said that's Labradorite. I said, I know, isn't it the most beautiful stone because it's so unique and it changes, and with every different lighting around the different lighting around you, and it just it's wonderful. And she said, that's a very psychic stone. And I was like, psychic stone, what does that mean? And she kind of went into and explained to me what a lot of, the gemstones and crystals and things and the different properties that they exude. But
Right.
I honestly feel like that is the case with labradorite. And so I now carry labradorite with me on just about every investigation. The only one that I didn't carry it with me on was when I went to Old South Pittsburgh, because I didn't want to be psychic there. I didn't want to be too connected there, because that's such a horrible, evil place. But there was good there too, but there's some really, really, really dark energy there. And I saw somebody have a seizure there. I saw someone get attacked there. Beth saw someone being hauled off in an ambulance from there. That's the place is a real deal, and it has so much going on with it, with the land and the energy. And Beth knows a lot more about the history than I do. But
unfortunately,
I was just curious if you had ever carried a labradorite and stone, and if you had that same experience.
No, I have not. Usually, it depends on the location. It depends on, I guess, my mood and the people's moods around me, I guess. But I don't know. I've always been kind of sensitive to this stuff, which is what kind of got me into this. And I was raised in a haunted house in Toledo, so that made me, be a weird kid, I guess.
We're all weird. Just embrace it.
We were all the weird kids.
Yeah. And then as an adult, I lived in an apartment that was completely and totally haunted, that really seriously freaked me out. And that was when I had one of my first major experiences where a picture flipped on a wall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it literally flipped. And but I've always gone places to where I could sense, I was being watched. I sensed that things would happen. Will and I went on a ship one time, and I looked at him and I said, someone died over there.
Yeah.
And it turned out somebody did. Just weird things like that. I've sensed things. And sometimes it's higher than other times.
Okay.
And our last investigation we did Slaughterhouse here in Tucson.
Oh, nice.
And we were going around taking pictures for the book, because I'm writing Haunted Tucson. And when we went upstairs, right away, my ears started ringing and I started feeling off balance.
Yeah.
So I told Will, I said, the activity is going to be on the second floor tonight. Sure enough, that's where we had a lot of our activity.
Yeah.
Was the second floor.
Wow.
That's the first indicator that I get when something is about to happen, is that little in the ears.
Yeah, the ear ringing. It's the most annoying thing, but I always know that it's something going on.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You've been with me, Beth, when I've gone, my ear.
Yes, several times, and I'm like, ooh, yay. What's going on?
It's like, good, we're going to have some activity.
Usually Beth's already picked up at it, and she's gone, well, there's somebody standing right behind you. That'll explain it.
Yep. But that's okay. I love when you pick up on things, and I'm picking up on the same thing, because it's just...
I look over and you have that smile on your face. You already know.
But it's good, because it's, it's, I can't think of the word right now.
Validating?
Yeah, validating, confirmation of, what's going on. You're not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. Or maybe we're just both really freaking crazy.
I think
you never know.
Just crazy together.
But we're picking up on the same crazy thing, and that's okay.
Yeah, well, see, Will always calls me crazy, so he doesn't validate. He's just like, you're a crazy woman. I'm like, gee, thanks, I love you too.
Right, that's right.
Palo Verde Mental Hospital's on speed dial.
Yeah, that's what he keeps telling me.
That's great.
And then I feel the love all the time.
Uh-huh.
Make sure they give you a nice padded room, lots of fluff in it so you don't hurt yourself.
Don't you guys want to do this with your partners in life?
No, I've already done this. I've already done that with my husband, and that's why he stays at home.
Yeah. Mine had no interest whatsoever.
Well, funny enough, the only reason Will does this is because of me.
Oh, well, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
That's
and
really
I think
nice.
He likes to make fun of me through it all. I think that's the motive. No.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Oh my gosh, that's great. Yeah, my husband went on a few locations with me, and it got to the point where, I mean, I understand debunking. I will be the first one that jumps in there and says, okay, let's figure out what that knock was. Is there a door that's loose up on the next floor above us that the wind's blowing and it banged it? I'm going to be the first one to jump in there and do that right along with him. But, he tries to debunk my psychic abilities. And I'm like, I don't know how to allow you to do that. I don't know what to say to that. But there's been a lot of times where I'll say, okay, there's a man, he's, coming down the hallway, he's heading towards this piece of equipment, give it a few seconds. He's very interested in what it is. It's going to go off. Boom, turn around and it goes off. And he'll be like, no, now there could, and I'm like, okay, you're going to stay home. I adore you, but you're going to stay home. I don't care if he tries to debunk other things, but don't try to debunk me, because I already think I'm out of my mind. So, it doesn't help.
Right.
But I love him. I love him.
Yeah, Will's not that bad. He's a debunker too. He's the skeptic of the group, is what I always call him.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been times that, when we do have, things follow us home or whatever, that I'll be telling him, look, this is going on. I don't know what's going on. And he's like, cleanse the house. I'll just cleanse the house.
Wash the cuckoo away.
That's right. Just take care of it. Cleanse it.
So
let it
even
be gone.
He's the skeptic. He still knows that things tend to come towards me for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And he will be the first to be like, you need to cleanse the house. Just get rid of it.
Right.
That's funny. Yeah. Mine would say to me, if anything would happen in the house, and we were standing there one day and a cabinet just opened, and everybody just kind of stopped in the kitchen. And it was funny because I had just gotten back from an investigation. I can't remember. I think it was Old South Pittsburgh. And everybody just stopped and turned around and looked at me. And David went, Sharla, Sharla. And I walked over to the cabinet, and it's just one of those that if you don't have it fully connected with the magnet, it will open on its own,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it just wasn't closed all the way, and then everybody kind of just went about what they were doing. But, skeptics, but when something happens, yeah, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharla.
You did it. Your fault.
Explain this. Do something.
But skeptics make the best investigators, because they don't take every small little thing as paranormal. They want to do the research. They want to get to the bottom of it. And, I do appreciate that about, even when our guests and stuff are around us, or when Sharla and I are out and investigating, Sharla and I are the same way. We're like, well, let's see why it did that first.
Yeah.
Then if we can't explain it, then let's call it, abnormal paranormal, and we go with it. And then, we'll continue asking questions about it.
Yeah, Will just hit me and he goes, see? And I'm like, I've never stopped you from debunking. And in fact, I encourage our team members to do that.
No, but when I go off to find out what made the noise or why that happened.
No. Let me explain this. When you go off to find out what made the noise, you're usually leaving me alone where the activity happened. So I'm going, I'm alone here.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to tag along. You choose to sit in the one spot. That's your own fault.
That's funny. Do you think sometimes as paranormal investigators, Beth and I were talking about this earlier today, actually, I was sitting at my desk and out of the corner of my eye, I had my blinds pulled up in my office and I could see one kind of moving and the rest were not. And I'm in a new house, so everything is new to me, like every creak of the door, every pop of the floor, when you live in a house for a long time, you know what that sound is. It's the ice maker coming on, or, that's the air conditioner about to come on. I don't know the sounds in this house yet. And I certainly was not prepared for a blind out of 3 in a row, one to start moving. And I think stopped mid-sentence and
she did.
I'm looking at the blind and I'm like, the blind is moving. And then, I get that instant paranormal alertness. You know what I mean? that you get in para mode. And then I look down and I'm like, oh, the air conditioner came on and that's where the vent is on the floor. Mm-hmm. So, but in the past that, I might have seen that as that might've been my first thought. But now every time something happens, it's almost like you're conditioned now to stop and take in the moment and say, okay, what just happened? What's going on? Is the energy changing?
Yeah, and you try to recreate it or redo it.
Yeah. It can't just be a blind moving. There's got to be something behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. If we didn't do this all the time, we would probably, like you said, first instinct be like, well, it's the air kicked on, whatever. Yeah. Now that we've investigated, know what's out there and know what can happen, we're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Here it comes. We're about to get goosed by a spirit.
That's right. Right.
What's really funny, though, is, and we've done this on investigations, when we're trying to debunk and you hear something and you're trying to recreate it, and for a fact that you weren't jumping up and down in place, but you start jumping up and down in place to see if you can recreate it.
Yes.
It's like, why? Yes. You know you weren't doing that, but you still try it.
Yes. Got to look at it at all angles, even though it didn't happen. We still got to attempt it.
Move your sleeve back and forth again.
And I'm like, why am I doing this? I know I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Put your arms over your head. Now put them back down. Stretch them out the side of you. Put them back up in the air. Was that you? Nope, you weren't the shadow. Turn around. Jump in a circle.
Hear you breathe. Was that the breath that I heard? Breathe in again.
Yes. Breathe really hard towards me. Well, I didn't do that the first. Just do it.
Yeah, let me hear it.
It's amazing what we do as investigators.
It really is.
It's true.
People were probably looking like we're idiots.
I know.
It's okay.
They're like, what are they doing? They're breathing on each other.
Yeah. If we did that in a grocery store, something would be wrong with us. But in an abandoned building, I don't think anybody will look at us funny.
Yeah, definitely get some strange looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And, and you were mentioning earlier, too, how if anything weird happens, all of a sudden you get the blame. And we have 4 kids. We have 4 daughters at home.
Aww.
And when things would follow us home, our kids tend to blame the ghost for everything.
Yes.
And it's like they would break something and the ghost did it.
Yes.
Oh, funny.
And I swear this is why we stopped getting followed home sometimes, because they got tired of getting the blame.
Oh, that's
like,
great.
we're not staying here. We're getting blamed for everything. We're out of here.
We're out of here.
That
is hilarious.
They're standing there like, what? That kid just say I did that?
Yep.
Do that?
I didn't leave that dish in the sink. I can't even eat.
So we said, screw this.
Yeah.
I'm getting blamed for things that I didn't do. I'm out of here.
I'm
That's right.
out.
Yep, I'm out.
Find another family.
I'm just
Don't
here to
have-
hang out and observe. I didn't sign up for this.
Just the occasional boo. Jeez.
Yeah. Whoa.
Have you actually ever got a recording of a ghost saying boo?
Yes. Well, not a recording, but through one of our devices that we use called the Phasma box. I have actually had this little boy, this young boy I was picking up on at a location, and he wanted to play a game. And he wanted to play tag, which we played tag for a while, which was creeping the guests out because they could feel getting touched. And then
Right.
he wanted to play hide and seek. And he actually, I went over by myself and hid and said, now you have to come and find me. And through the device, it said boo, like a young boy would do, like an
Right.
actual boy would yell boo when they found you. So yeah, I actually have had that come through where they've said boo.
Yeah, we've had it once, and again, that was at Slaughterhouse when we had that happen. And I thought to myself, really? Out of all things you can say, that's what you're gonna say?
That's pretty cheeky.
Yeah.
That is better
Like,
than
you could tell me anything. You could tell me to get out. You could, and you tell me boo. I'm like, wow, okay.
It seems like we get out a lot.
yes.
Do you
You're
get that?
Not a whole lot. Sometimes we've gotten it a couple times, but not as often as I would actually think.
Mm.
Dang, what does that say about us, Sharla?
I was just going to ask, but I didn't want to be rude.
Yeah. Not you two again. Get out. We're not in the mood.
Yeah. Oh God, those ladies, get out.
Yeah. But then have you ever encountered
Your environment, because we don't go to places where there's a lot of bad things. A lot of places we've been are, pretty laid back.
right.
Spirits, or they're pranksters. We get a lot of pranksters or smart asses.
I was going to ask you that. There was one, I can't remember where we were or what the situation was, but Beth, you and I were together, and I think Chad was there. And
Randolph.
Was it Randolph? Where it was just like, there was one that was really, really, really like funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that were coming through, and not just one device, but there were multiple, because we didn't even have the Phasma at that time.
Right. True.
There was the SB7, and then there were
Ovulus.
EVPs and Ovulus, and it was just really, you could tell it was a really cheeky, funny spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And
the more we laughed, the better he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
We've noticed that a lot. The more we talk and joke around, the more interactions we get, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The more you ignore them, the more they want to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah, because
rude.
We're there to talk to them. Hello.
Right. That's right.
What about me?
Uh-huh.
Yet they don't like to answer your questions, because when you sit there and ask them those boring questions, they decide you're boring. So
Yeah. Well, one of my coworkers has always said this, and I appreciate it so much. She says, if somebody walked into my house and just started drilling me with questions, I would tell them, where to go.
All right.
And you got to also look at that in the afterlife as well. We're walking into their home, their space, where they're comfortable, where they reside. And if, I was that spirit, it would be the same thing. You come in and you're grilling me with questions, I'm going to be like, forget you. And I think that's why they interact a lot better when you stop paying attention, because then they're like, oh, okay. Hey,
They
look,
just
I'm here.
participate in the group chat.
Yes, absolutely. 100% instead of, how'd you die? Are you okay?
Right.
Why are you here?
Question.
What happens then?
Mm-hmm.
What's the new question?
Hey, rent's due.
That's right. Ghost money.
You're way too long. You haven't been paying the bills.
Yeah.
Rent's due.
Hand it over, buddy.
Yeah. All that electricity that you use to manifest yourself, you got to pay half of
Somebody's
that.
got to pay for that.
That ain't free.
This is not a Holiday Inn. It may have been 100 years ago, but not today.
Yes, that's right. It may have been 100 years ago. So, Will, I have a question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
With you being a skeptic, have you ever had a personal experience that made you like, holy
Question
shit?
your skepticism.
Yeah.
No, I actually had experience when I was younger,
Okay.
which kind of makes the whole paranormal not as exciting for me because of the fact that this was the one thing that made me think that something else does exist.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was younger, I was in the Boy Scouts, and we were on a camping retreat for Order of the Arrow.
Okay.
And so for 24 hours, we weren't allowed to talk. We couldn't say anything.
Wow.
So,
God, I would so fail at that.
Yeah.
So we failed. Don't be wrong. We just didn't fail in front of anybody.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So we went off into the woods at night, or the desert at night, I should say, by ourselves. And this was up in Gila Bend area. And on top of this plateau, me and my two buddies actually witnessed an apparition of an Indian on horseback.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And there's no mistaking it. It wasn't the silhouette. It was actually itself glowing. It wasn't like it was, you had to look and go, look, there's a silhouette. It's actually glowing. It had light to it. So.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
And that was the first and only time I'd ever seen it.
That's fantastic. That's a fantastic experience.
That is amazing.
Yeah. How old were you?
Lived up to that since then.
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
up to that. So it's kind of, I want to see that again.
It's hard to
Yeah.
top that.
Yeah, that is very hard to top.
They were asking how old you were.
Yeah.
Probably 8 or 9 at the time.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. What a fantastic experience.
Yeah,
Well,
so shadows. He's like, it's just a shadow. That's nothing. It's just a shadow.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And he's seen shadows, and he's like, I just saw a shadow. It's like, wow, your excitement is just beyond belief there, Will.
It's cool, but it's not cool.
Right. But it's all they can do.
Yeah.
They weren't as powerful as your Indian friend.
No.
But those ones, that's all they can give you. I take anything I can get.
Exactly. Well, unfortunately, we are just about out of time, and I want to make sure that you both get plenty of time to tell our listeners where they can find you and all that information.
Absolutely. Do it to it, Sharla. You're good at this one. I always get tongue-tied.
Okay. All right. Twitter at Girls vs. Ghosts. That's GIRLSVSGHOSTS. Okay, now I'm going to get tongue-tied. Instagram, Girls vs. Ghosts, same spelling. Facebook, Girls vs. Ghosts TV. You can also find us every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock on VidiSpace, and that's vidi.live. That's VIDI.LIVE, or all of the VidiSpace social network pages. Mm-hmm. Facebook Live, Periscope, Twitter, and also Amazon Fire TV via the VidiSpace app.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool.
Was that good?
We had a blast with you guys tonight.
Oh, it was so nice. I knew that we were going to have fun. I don't know, something about the minute that we connected on, was it email or Messenger or something? Mm-hmm. I had a good feeling about you guys, and it has been an honor to be on your show. So thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah, definitely. And we want to have you back in the future, keep up with what you guys are doing and how things are going for you. Because we got to do that in this field. We got to stick together.
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
Support your girl power.
Yes, I need that.
Well, we love it. So we're right there with you. And we got to have you guys on our show too.
Yes.
We would be honored. Yeah, well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We encourage all of our listeners to go check you guys out. We love you to death. We've had a lot of fun, and we hope you have a wonderful night.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, you guys.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow, they were awesome.
Yeah, they were fun.
Yeah, I really like them. They're really cool. And you all need to check them out. They have their own show, Girls versus Ghosts. Now I'm tongue-tied.
On video.
It's contagious. Yes, on what you said. Oh wow, they were a lot of fun though.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it when we get guests that we can laugh with and be laid back with. It's more fun that way. Definitely.
Have a sense of humor.
Yes, exactly. You gotta have a sense of humor in life. If not, you're gonna really be boring. Really.
What you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just letting you know you gotta have a sense of humor in life. Which tomorrow, hopefully, we get good comedians up on stage to make us laugh. Because otherwise, I'm gonna be sad.
There's a bunch of college students who think they're funny. It's going to suck.
Yeah, because that's our one night this weekend to just lay back and have some fun.
And then I'll be the heckler.
Yeah, you would be, and I would be hiding underneath the table. I don't know him. But for our listeners, please go check out Girls versus Ghosts. As they said, they're pretty much all over social media. We encourage you to go like all their pages and follow them and all that stuff. We also encourage you to follow us on all of our pages. We have @Mysteries Radio on Twitter, Mysteries Explained at Facebook, along with Tucson Ghost Company and Tucson Ghost Society. And please like our YouTube channel, Tucson Ghost Company, because of the fact that we are doing live investigations on YouTube. We did our first one last weekend, and we are going to be doing, hopefully, 2 more this weekend. We can't get the jail. We will record and put it up later because I have no clue. But we will definitely be doing investigations this weekend.
So you get to partake in what we partake in.
Yes. You can ask questions, get the feel of what it's really like,
And
the boring parts and all.
And as your questions come up, we answer them as we see them.
Yes. Because we now do know how to get to the chat, which we didn't know the first time.
Yeah, because they do this stupid thing where it pops up and then disappears, and you got to go back into it to see what the question was. And then they still, only for a second, it shows it and then disappears again. So sometimes it might take us a little bit.
Because we're having to bring it up like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, so we can read
So
the
in
whole
other words,
question.
keep it short.
Yeah. Just say, it's there. You suck.
Don't
Okay,
say
cool.
we suck. That would be mean.
Well, one guy sat there and goes, Hitler's really dead. And we have no idea why he brought
Yeah,
that
it
up.
was really random.
It was
It
random.
was about Hitler, and I have no clue.
I think he was watching too many things at the same time.
I don't know. I don't know. It was really weird. But yeah, keep, your questions short and we will answer them. We don't care if you ask like a million questions. Just if you have a long drawn out paragraph, we're not going to be able to read it at the investigation because we'll have to keep having to go back and back and back.
Or if you want us to ask a question during investigation, as long as it's respectable, we will ask that question to the spirits.
Yes. We're not going to disrespect the spirits. I don't care where we're at. We're not going to be doing that. But the jail's really interesting. I'm looking forward to actually doing this jail. It's like a real jail. I'm so excited.
So I can lock you in a cell?
We'll talk about that.
It sounds like it's done.
No.
Ching ching.
We've done so-called jails, and I'm doing these air quotes before, but they weren't really jails. The first one we did was part of a courthouse. So
it was a holding cell until you got moved to where you were supposed to go.
And then the second one was a real jail, but it was so tiny.
And it was turned into a museum, so there was really not much.
There wasn't much that you could use as trigger for the jail. But this one's a true jail. And yes, it was on Ghost Adventures, but we're not going to go by what they found. We go by our own instinct and what we find.
Yes.
So, but I am actually looking forward to doing a real full-out jail for our first time ever. And we'll see what happens. And then Fox Theater on Sunday, and then Monday we're zombies. So it's all good. All good.
like you owe me.
I owe you? Good. Because you're taking the 3-day weekend and investigating.
Turning it into a sleep day.
A sleep day, a zombie day for Monday. Labor Day is a zombie day. All right. Well, it is that time that we need to say our goodbyes. What do you want to tell everyone tonight?
Next week, it'll be another good show. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Flapjack.
Oh, what?
I don't know. It'll come out eventually. They'll have some stupid thing come out that follow us on.
Maybe you should event that. That would be good. Although I don't know if people would sign up for that.
Call it Widget Slap.
Oh, wow. All right, yes, but Facebook, Mysteries Explained, Tucson Ghost Company, Tucson Ghost Society. Twitter is the only one that it's off. It's at Mysteries Radio. And both you and I have Instagram. And, of course, our Facebook pages, private pages. Well, not really private.
Privately public.
Privately public. That makes a lot of sense. And then our YouTube, Tucson Ghost Company. And I think we have it all covered. Every Thursday, please tune in at Spreaker or iHeartRadio or Spotify to listen to us. Make sure you are catching all of Voice Carry Network all week long.
Because they're all great shows.
Yeah, all great people, great network. We love them to death. And I guess that wraps up today. Oh, make sure you check out TucsonGhostTour.com because we have a ton of special events posted there. And they are public events that people can come join us on. So
Yes.
Make sure you check that out.
And parts of the proceeds go to restoring the buildings.
Yes, a lot of what we are doing, we are donating part of the profits to the buildings themselves. So help us out, help us restore some buildings and preserve our history. And until next week, just remember, you're never truly alone. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want so much to give you this love in my heart that I'm feeling for you.
Let 'em say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in my hand, baby. Don't ever look back. Let the world around us just fall apart. Baby, we can make it if we're heart to heart. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
I'm so glad I found you. I'm not gonna lose you. Whatever it takes, I will stay here with you. Take it to the good times, see it through the bad times. Whatever